see what we can get into. Make sure we won't have a disturbance there. Get this last email checked. All right. Let's do this thing. Good afternoon. Let me make sure this guy's working again. Get the iPad up. There we go. Zarana Mort. That's my computer's name. Looks like we are in the clear. I had to make a little graphic up there for that space, huh? We need something up there. Let me get something situated for up top. Alrighty. Good afternoon, friends. Hope the day's been treating you oh so right. It is Wednesday, April 1st. That's April Fool's Day for everyone out there. Hope you hadn't been tricked. Hope no one's got you with a good one. Really goofed you. Only fell for one this morning, and now I can't even remember what it was. So it must have not got me that good, huh? Perhaps you have seen this link going around. Perhaps not. It's been very popular, showing up through Facebook feeds, social media feeds, all that stuff, as a great resource, because it is a great resource. What we're going to look at real quick before we get going today is this article right here, Travel and Leisure, and it's just stuck at home, as many of us are. It's got 12 museums that offer virtual tours. And I just want to jump into the first one that's on the link there, because I've been going to it pretty regularly, off and on, throughout this last week, several weeks. But I've really started playing with it more in the past week because it's a great resource, and there's a lot of cool stuff on here. It's kind of hard to see with all this going on, but we're at thebritishmuseum.com is where we're at. Excuse me. And if you can see right there, it just faded away. It said History Connected. And that's one reason that I've enjoyed this virtual tour through their collections so very much. You can use the little arrows over here to the left of the screen. You can use those to go up and down the timeline. You can hold down and really start zooming. Go all the way back. And then you have over here on the right hand side that you have different genres, little different areas you can hop to. You can go to art, design, living and dying, power and identity, religion and belief, or trade and conflict. And so it's going to take you to work that has been made centering around those subjects. And that's really neat. My next favorite thing is that we're on a literal timeline. We've got 2000 AD over here. You can see that over to the left. And as we scoot further and further down, I'm on my iPad, so I can just take my finger and drag. We get closer and closer to the present. Oh wait, no, that's backwards. We're going further into the past, going that way. But you can look on here. It's like, what do we have? Old Uwe hand axe. Lower Paleolithic. Probably butchered that pronunciation. That's okay. You can click Find Out More. And it brings up these great little descriptions of the work. This is an old little hand axe. You can click on the photo to get a really high quality image of it. If you're on an iPad, you can do classic, pinch to zoom, get a better look at it. And it's beautiful. You can click out of it, you can read all the text. And then over here, I'm not going to click on it because I don't have sound running from my iPad to the computer to the stream. But if you click on that guy right over here, play audio, it's not just reading what you see over here. At least the ones that I was listening to the other night. It wasn't just reading the text. It had an audio component for the piece as well. And it was really great. We can hit back, but look at what has happened. Now that we've clicked that one historical piece, it has gone ahead and it's drawing lines to where there's literal connections to where they can work back from the objects they found and discovered to find where cultures converged. And I've talked about this a lot in class, and it's one of my favorite things about art is, and it's something that I struggled with a lot as an artist. Going into grad school, had had many conversations with mentors to where I was just feeling, I felt like there was so much that the world needed, and I didn't think that I could answer that individually just by myself, but I just didn't know where I fit in. Sometimes I still don't. That's part of life. It's that journey and that self-discovery to find out where you're at, where you belong, and kind of where you fit into everything. But then I got great comfort when they would, reaffirm and they would reassure that not only is art this kind of like universal language that regardless of culture, it comes out. People can't stop making things, which is kind of really beautiful. And it's how we know. It's literally how we know our past. It's how we catalog it. Everything that's been left behind are artifacts of things that the human hand has wrought, has made. And that's kind of beautiful. As we skip on down, you can just find, click on different ones, see the different connections. It's a ton of fun. Oh, I gotta sneeze. I'm gonna click on this club. That's pretty cool. That is a cool club. Looks like C-3PO. Anyways, BritishMuseum.com. Go check it out. I won't use any more of our time going through here today, purely because I had to go get my allergy shots today, which means we are on a very real timer against my immune system. You can already hear my nose start kind of getting all sinusy, so we just need to kind of roll with it. Let's go a little bit. So last night, after stream, I was still sketching around a little bit, and I drew this little character, drew this man. Although I also think he kind of looks like a bear, like a real tall, skinny bear. What I want to do is pretty simple. I guess it's not pretty simple. The idea is simple enough. I want to take this little character that I've made, drew a few different poses that he was in, running away from us, like, man, I don't know, maybe skipping, he's real happy, having a nice cup of coffee, just like me, just like us maybe. Maybe you've got one too. I hope you do. Up here he's doing a little crisscross applesauce. And right there he's just lumbering through. And this pose here just kind of made me think of Bigfoot a little bit, because that's what I was thinking of when I sketched it. Thinking of our old cryptid pal Bigfoot. And how many fun little stories come out of Bigfoot tales. And so I figured, let's try something radically different that we haven't done yet. And let's try to take a character that we've made and let's try to put them into, it's almost like superimposing them into a photo. So there can be a little cartoon character out in the world. Right? So that's where we're heading. We're going to have to back up and hop over here. Let's hop back into Google or Safari, whatever it's called. And I have typed in here, you see, public domain nature photos. Public domain just means that I will be able to watch them without threat of copyright infringement. It means the public, i.e. me, i.e. you, that we have access to use these photos as we kind of see fit. They're allowed for large use and consumption. I don't think I want to go high color. I think I'm going to try it. Let's add in black and white on this. Whoops. Sometimes I'm bad at typing on my iPad. Black and white. Okay. There we go. I thought this was going to be a longer search, but I think I may have just found it. I think that's my photo right there. It's beautiful. I can see a Bigfoot being in there. I can see our character lumbering around in there. So what we're going to do is I long held there. I'm going to copy that photo. Bounce back over here to Procreate. Hit my little doodad up there. And pasted it. Since we're close to the same size, I'm going to hit Fit to Screen. And now I've got these kind of problematic white bars up top. But what we'll do is make a new layer. And I'm going to fill that new layer. Put it behind it. Fill it with black. There. Whew. I'm excited already. Now maybe you can see I just dragged our character up in front. He looks like he'll fit in here great. I'm actually going to turn these two into their own group. I can make them disappear. Oh, I'm very excited for this. Very excited. Alright, I just went ahead and flattened those because I wasn't going to be able to toggle opacity as much as I wanted to if I didn't. Alright, we have our inspiration. Here's our character. He has a very round head. It's not a perfect circle. It's more of an onion shaped. We're going to use that. We know that his ears come up a little bit higher. They're not right at the side of his head. They are up along this little swoop. Most of his face is covered by beard. His mustache is a delicate little U shape. Usually has his mouth open. Just a little bit. Maybe he has bad sinuses too. Or maybe he's just genuinely always a little bit thrilled about what the world has to offer. I choose to believe that one. Let's bring our background back up. Let's take our character away. Let's do a new layer. I see a park bench back here when I'm looking at this photo closer. We can incorporate him back there. Well, it's very far away. Kind of want our boy to be up in center. I think I like this idea. It's a little central to the photo. Maybe too much so, but I guess I could put him back here. feel like he'd be getting a little bit too far away from us, though. What do you think? If his head was in there somewhere, or... right here. Better up close. I'm sketching back here too, just to see. Honestly, do not know. I think I like him better in the back. And I think I like him doing something like... leaning around the tree. Maybe something like that. Yeah. Pose is a little weird. Let's get rid of that. What would he be doing here, though? He'd just be walking through like he was in that other one, huh? Yeah, but I like that pose. Let's make him a little bit taller. He is a Bigfoot-ish. Or he started as a Bigfoot-inspired guy. So let's let him be tall. Yeah, I like what's happening here now. I'm going to make his head a little bit smaller. Because it's kind of weird that scale is a little too big. There we go. Oh, that's nice. It looks like he's having fun. It's a very playful way to kind of draw his arms dangling. I like that. Sketches in, sketches down. Everyone drop your sketch. Although looking at it on my computer, it looks like this leg could be a little bit longer. Let's see what it looks like. There we go. We can move him further back if we want to. Where does he look best? Somewhere right there. So there we go. We got a character in space that's incredibly sketchy. Not that he's doing anything wrong, it's just that we drew that in very loosely with a lot of scribbles to kind of find our place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock the opacity back on both of those so that we can just barely see them. I'm going to go in my little selection tool. It's what the S is. And I'm going to do just these big washes of white. Right? So the goal of this is to make it to where we have something kind of close to our character's form. It can be a little bit off. That's fine, and we can still refine it as we go. But we were using a very fat brush to draw him in earlier. So we needed to use something else that was had a little bit finer tip. To block in some of that space so we can see what's happening. Now you see if I bring that full force back, that he's really sticking out now. And that's okay, because now I can kind of see more what's going on. I am not trying to approach any sort of realism here. Obviously. But that gives me the liberty to kind of go in, and again, I'm not tracing. I'm trying to clean edges up where I can. Cleaning up the shape where it needs it. not worried about it. I could be getting it wrong, but it's okay. It's just drawing. We'll be alright. If we gotta go back and delete everything we've done so far, that's okay. Show me that smile again. Don't waste another minute on you crying. Whether we're near the end, the best is ready to begin. 'Cause as long as we keep on living, we can take anything that comes our way. Baby, you and me, we gotta be the luckiest dreamers that ever stop dreaming. Alright, I'm getting a little bit confused about the undersketch now. So when we take it away, we can see he's really sticking out like a sore thumb. His pose is weird. I do not care. I am not going for perfection. I am going for the idea of a thing. Because what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Sketching. Is it always important that we chase perfection when we're making art? Is there a perfect way to make art? Maybe that's a better question. I have an answer. And it is no. Don't believe there is like a perfect way. Don't believe there's a perfect look to something. So I'm always talking about how art is so personal. You don't have to take it personal if someone doesn't like your work. But it's uniquely going to be your experience of things. You know, we can't argue that you're the one that drew it, or you painted it, or you sculpted it, or you photographed it. Sometimes people out there just won't like what you have to offer. It doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It doesn't mean that you're doing something right. Some people try to convince you of that too. Most important part is just that we do something. Gotta do something. Look at him walking through the forest. We could go in, pick a new layer, go with a little bit of shadow. We see from this photo, if we look right here, light is coming in from that direction. We see these bright spots. Oh, that marker's super hard to see. We see bright spots in the ground. So if we wanted to add a little bit of shadow, we could, while keeping it in mind that the sun is back over here. And maybe this is not a dark enough shade of gray. We can start pulling grays from the background of the photo if we need help matching what's going on. Don't want to get too heavy-handed with it like I am right now. This is getting a little too out of hand. Because now we're losing definition in the character from our little sketch. We can't let that get too far away from us, right? Let's just go back. Let's knock the opacity down on that layer. Now he's fitting in a little bit better. He's kind of hiding out. Hiding out in plain sight. Sea, the sea of love, 'cause I wanna tell you how much I love you. That's it. That's a regular scheduled uke break, and we're back to something new. It's a fun practice. Quick, dirty, in this instance. But you spend a little bit more time with it, have a little bit of fun, and you're set. That's a great exercise. I'm kind of feeling the energy suck from those allergy shots now. Get a wee bit sleepy. It's a nice day. Kind of wish I had a hammock. Actually, it's a really nice day. It's a really nice day. Let's go in. What was it? I saw something earlier I wanted to draw, or I thought of something. You know what? We drew him the other day. We're going to go back right now. We're going to refamiliarize, for me at least, refamiliarize ourselves with my superhero chair that I made. That I made up about 2 or 3 years ago. Two and a half. And instead of just doing live streams, I've been wanting to get into actually making some video content. It's not just stream based, where I can just kind of chat and discuss and talk about things and such. Talk about art, talk about a little bit of music, a little writing, illustration. This is a very rigid version of chair that I have drawn here. When I made up chair, it was as I was just coming into grad school. It was probably about a month in. I didn't have a clue as to what I was doing. I was a week out from my first critique. And the idea for him kind of came out of left field. So I came up with the origin story for him. And all that silly stuff. It's happening. I'm yawning more and more. This is a weird version of him. It's like he's very long. But I made 3 or 4 pieces for critique of chair. And then it got to the point where all the feedback that I was getting, or the majority of the feedback that was hanging around in the back of my head the most, was that within the story of chair that I was kind of like making up as I went along, there wasn't enough conflict. Like, it was not enough for a character to exist and be happy. You couldn't just make just like a joyous character. You couldn't make something that was just positive, because no one can relate to it, because it's not the way the world is. And while I understood that argument, my whole thought was like, yes, but then the ongoing adventures of chair are the antithesis of that. It would be a hero without any need for being a hero, really. Because that's what the story was. It was joy. But that wasn't really accepted. And it was still like, yeah, but there's no conflict. You have to have some conflict. And so I killed him off. I did not know how to put conflict within a story without it feeling disingenuous to the character that I made that I wanted to talk about. And so instead of introducing nothing but trials and tribulations for the character, I just time skipped to the end of the character. And that was that. But I still believe that there was nothing wrong, and maybe it's even needed. Maybe there's a need for things that are just relentlessly positive. So I guess I'm just saying to the mentors that I had, or the people that said there's not enough conflict, it doesn't work. I was right. It's okay for something to just exist out of a point of joy. Maybe Chair needs to make a comeback. Anyways, I think that's it for the day. I think I'm going to call it. I don't think there's anyone here but me, and that's okay. Because these streams are just as much for me as they are for anyone else right now. One of my favorite phrases is run what you brung. It just means whatever you got, go with it. If you got a lot, use a lot. If you've got a little, use a little. Just don't use any excuses to convince you that you should be immobile or stagnant. So, hope you're keeping your heads up out there. If you're watching this later, I'm doing the best to do the same. We'll see each other soon. I believe that. I hope that. I pray that. Love you all. Stay positive. Stay healthy. We're good. You're good. Don't forget it.